A tragic hero is the central character of a play, film, or TV show, often depicted as a noble figure who experiences a tragic downfall. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw this awesome little Twitter thread by Cena SCN, link down below if you'd like to check them out, where they explained in their own words the deeper meaning behind Cody Rhodes' title reign and dissects exactly what story WWE is trying to tell with this character. Through this, he makes comparisons from Cody Rhodes to Peter Parker rather than Superman, and frankly put, if this guy is on the right track, I think we have quite the story brewing for Cody Rhodes. Now, this is a bit different than what I usually do on the channel, where I usually dissect stories myself and kind of come to my own conclusions, and instead we're going to be mainly looking at what Cena had to say here on Twitter. Because frankly, I think they cooked with this one, and even if the WWE isn't planning on going in this direction, I think they probably should consider doing so. All that being said, if you go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like as it helps me out immensely, and also maybe subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Alright, so since returning, WWE has made it clear that Cody's story revolves around the WWE Championship. He was out to win the belt his dad never won, and he fought through basically everyone and everything on the WWE roster to get to that championship. He overcame Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Judgment Day, and eventually even the Bloodline. And this is where the pattern comes in. You see, during his first feud with Styles, there was sort of a mutual respect between him and AJ. And despite AJ taking some verbal jabs at Cody Rhodes during their initial match at Backlash, Cody still of course respected AJ as a wrestler. That respect was mutual, and AJ also respected Cody, even exchanging a handshake. However, after being beaten at Backlash, we see AJ's feelings towards Cody turn a bit darker. As the bitterness following his loss, we saw him go on to manipulate Cody. There's really no other word for it. He came out in the nice little blue jacket, similar to Mark Henry of course, before we saw him turn on and attack Cody. And while you could say AJ and Cody don't exactly have the longest history, so this wasn't really as impactful, this was still somebody who Cody Rhodes the character respected as a performer, and even kind of saw them as a friend, caring for them enough to come out and honor them during their quote-unquote retirement. This heel turn and change of demeanor by Styles is seemingly something we're going to see throughout Cody's run. However, this is the first instance of it. Someone who Cody respected and to an extent even saw as a friend turning his back on Cody Rhodes. Just keep it in mind for later, as this will all make sense a bit later in the video. Now, one small wrench in this whole story that they're telling right now is that there was a Logan Paul feud, which doesn't really coincide with the rest, as seemingly that match was just done to pop the Saudi crowd and just give them a massive main event. However, for the sake of this video and the story at large, we're gonna more or less skim over that and move on to his next feud, which was of course with the Bloodline yet again. And well, if you don't remember, Cody Rhodes during this time was basically just beat up every single week. Regardless if Kevin Owens was backing him or if Randy Orton was backing him, Cody Rhodes and his cohorts were of course beaten down by the new Bloodline, seemingly to make them look strong as they were a fairly fresh faction at the time. During these, he was not only beaten himself, but he was then forced to watch those that he loves and cares about being beaten as well. If it isn't obvious, both of these characters are extremely important to Cody Rhodes. Over the last year, they have been at his side, pushing for him to become the WWE champion. In particular, Kevin Owens has been fighting the Bloodline and fighting with Cody Rhodes in particular, arguably since WrestleMania 39 and technically before that. And seeing those that he loves and respects slowly being broken and beaten almost because of him is something that does weigh on the conscience of Cody Rhodes. This would be referenced in promos and backstage segments where Rhodes would of course mention how Randy being beaten did affect him, as well as how Kevin being beaten down did affect him as well. However, after dispatching Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam, we of course move on to Kevin Owens, which is where we're at currently. Now, Kevin Owens and Cody have a long history. Kevin was the guy who helped him on his way out of WWE with giving him contacts like the Young Bucks and other people to help Cody along on the indies. This in general shows an immense amount of care from Kevin Owens and really paints their overall real life relationship in a certain light of them being really good friends. And as mentioned before, since Cody Rhodes came back, Kevin Owens has been defending Cody and helping Cody and coming to his aid as often as he can seemingly. Be it because of the mutual interest in seeing the Bloodline fall or because Cody Rhodes is his friend, Kevin has been doing this constantly. However, during the storyline that we're currently observing, we see a bit of a slow burn from Kevin Owens being this kind of virtuous good friend to potentially reverting back to the prize fighter. In their initial promo and interaction over the title shot, KO of course felt that he didn't deserve one because he hadn't been winning. And because of this, Kevin Owens felt like Cody was giving him a handout just because they were friends and ultimately was setting him up for failure. And because of this seemingly unintentional manipulation by Cody to get the prizefighter back out, all signs are pointing to Kevin Owens eventually turning on Cody Rhodes. And through this, Cody will essentially lose yet another friend. Cody Rhodes will of course retain his title in this feud, but will lose one of his most valuable allies. And this will ultimately lead into his feud with The Rock somewhere down the line. Now, it was stunningly obvious that during their first encounter where The Rock was embracing the final boss character, that Dwayne was playing a lot of mental games with Cody. He was always putting him in situations where he could easily attack and get the best of Rhodes, and even use his mother as a way to attack him mentally and repeatedly. This final boss Rock, which whether we get it or not, is a very cerebral version of the character. It stands to reason that The Rock will continuously attack Cody and use his own family as a weapon against him. Now, in this feud in particular, you could argue The Rock takes the belt off of Cody, but in my opinion, with him being the tragic hero, he does need to continue retaining until there is that one breaking point. And that breaking point will of course come from arguably his best friend and his original mentor, Randy Orton. Randy and Cody kind of came into the business together. Randy a little bit before Cody, but both were extremely green when they were put on this amazing massive stage of WWE. However, due to Randy having a little bit more experience than Cody, he was always showing Cody the ropes, helping him out where he could, and Cody has even mentioned on multiple occasions that he wouldn't be where he is without Randy Orton. Both in real life and in kayfabe, he looks to Randy as a mentor and never wants to disappoint the guy. Him winning, being champion, and proving himself right is just a way of making the Viper proud of him. This has and always will be the betrayal that'll fully destroy Cody. His longtime friend, mentor, and brother betraying him and ripping the WWE Championship that he worked oh so hard to acquire away from Cody Rhodes. This unbelievable betrayal from somebody's best friend is something that would absolutely break just about any man. And with all the mental anguish and turmoil Cody Rhodes would have undergone to this point, it very much so stands to reason that Cody would be broken by this, and ultimately would end up as a shell of his former self. In the match itself, and this is a bit of an ad-lib for me myself, I could imagine Cody has Randy on the ropes. He's about to hit that third and final crossroads or something akin to that, but he can't pull the trigger. He can't beat his mentor. So instead, he would give up the fight. He would let him go, tell Randy, can we please just stop this? Randy hoofs him in the nuts, or whatever you have to describe it as, capitalizes, and the Viper wins his 15th WWE Championship. And in Cena SCN's own words, Cody Rhodes is no longer able to take on the responsibility of being the champion, constantly losing the ones he loved and mentally being victimized. This dream visual, this amazing picture of Cody Rhodes finally winning the championship, ultimately goes down in flames. Those flames being his friends, his family, and those he cares for most, abandoning him and even betraying him. And from here, we can see him go down the actual Peter Parker as Venom route, where instead of always being that virtuous and good hero, he turns to a bit of a darker methodology, because the only way to protect your friends and family from monsters is to become the monster. But yeah, what did you guys think about this story? On a personal level, I think it's pretty good and pretty plausible that this is actually what we're going to be getting with Cody. And of course, when Randy Orton does eventually turn on Rhodes, it's going to hit like nothing else. I believe it's absolutely the story that Cody Rhodes needs as champion, and it's going to be the one that really defines his reign. But those are just my thoughts on it. Once again, what did you think about the story? Let me know in the comments down below. And hey ho, while you're headed down that way, it would help me out immensely if you leave a like on the video, and maybe subscribe if you want to see more wrestling content like this in the future. Once again, I'll be leaving a link to Cena SCN's Twitter down below in the original thread itself, so be sure to give them a follow if you like this sort of thing from them too. With all that being said, I think I'm gonna dip. But as always, I hope you stay safe, and that was Dylightful. Bye-bye.